Sydney Sweeney, and sort of the opposite of Jennifer Lawrence, isn't really outspoken about her politics
at all.
And here's an article from Variety, actually. And we will be Alan and I reviewing her movie Christie that opens this Friday. She is going to be a possible Oscar nominee for Best Actress.
A possible Oscar.
I say possible. But this story from Variety, Sydney Sweeney on Bond girl rumors, Oscar contender Christie, and defying the sex symbol label you shouldn't have to hide or cover up in any room. Badger, if you would get the notes for this story, and I have some show and tell here for a minute.
Sydney Sweeney doesn't just command attention, she provokes it. Her fame has become a magnet for controversy, often blurring the line between admiration and outrage. The most infamous example came from her American Eagle ad, which cheekily declared she had good genes. Critics accused the campaign of a eugenic messaging.
Reporter alert.
Yeah. As culture warriors clashed online, American Eagle stock price surged. Sweeney's image as a modern sex symbol became undeniable. So the double standard of a sex symbol. Sweeney's beauty and confidence have sparked as much criticism as acclaim. She's been both objectified and vilified for embracing her image, with some detractors labeling her too sexualized, while others hail her as a feminist for reclaiming the narrative. When people think, she's a sex symbol or she's leaning into that, I'm like, no, I just feel good and I'm doing it for myself, she told Variety. You shouldn't have to apologize or hide or cover up in any room. It's the refusal to shrink herself that keeps her at the center of cultural debate and turns backlash into branding power, Alan, her brand. Even whispers about Sweeney joining the James Bond franchise stirred controversy. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos reportedly wants her involved, possibly as a Bond girl, possibly as something more. When asked directly, she grew visibly cautious. I don't know. I've always been a huge fan of the franchise, she said, before adding with a smirk. Depends on the script. I think I'd have more fun as a James Bond. The internet, of course, erupted. Some fans cheered the idea of a new generation Bond girl with brains and brawn. Others mocked her as
69.
too TikTok era for 007. Either way, Sweeney owned the moment, turning speculation into more spotlight.
And another thing she was criticized for, she showed up to the Power of Women in Hollywood conference sponsored by The Wrap. She received
sponsored by Saran Wrap.
Well,
it was actually stunning and brave.
It might have been, but this
she was
is
wrapped in Saran Wrap.
This is what she looked like at the wait, where'd that go?
Oh, you want me to
yeah,
why don't you model the outfit?
And this is how she chose to attend the event. I see nothing wrong with it. If that's how she wants to
I see everything right with it.
It's beautiful.
Yes, I mean let me remove the banner. Actually,
looks like something an elf would wear in Lord of the Rings.
It's I see nothing wrong with that. Because why? They always talk about women having agency. Well, you know what? She chose to present herself this way, and I think that's fine. So nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I will say, she was dressed a bit more demure when I saw her at a Christie.
Sorry about that.
It was just,
I mean,
it was just, and also, tune in Friday. Alan and I both will give our opinion on Christie. I'm so proud of this thumbnail. I want to share it. Get to the Nakas.
Nice.
By the way, if you're uncomfortable that you might be able to see nipple, who told you to stare at her breasts, you degenerates?
I know.
Right.
All I can
The
say
male
is,
gaze.
Well, how come Florence Pugh didn't receive any negative attention? I'm pretty sure I've seen several outfits that are very similar. So what's the difference here? They just don't like Sydney Sweeney.
correct.
Particular
That's
for
what
her?
it
Like,
is.
what's the difference?
That's
what it is.
it
They
right
don't
there.
like Sydney Sweeney.
Her not talking about
doesn't-
politics is
I'm
her
pretty
talking
sure she was all
politics to
about
them.
free the nipple, and there was like all that around Florence Pugh. So why? What's the difference here?
Two
The
cups.
rules. It's the rules. The rules change based on who they like and don't like. Had Rachel Zegler showed up and she had a sheer top, they would have praised her all over the place.
Well, they wouldn't know whether she was going or coming.
Oh, Jesus.
Exactly. So what do we, I mean, obviously I think I'm a Sydney Sweeney fan because a couple reasons. One, she knows material.
Couple of reasons.
Yeah,
a couple of
two
huge reasons.
Guys.
Oh, stop it.
But
oh my gosh,
truly,
what are we,
you-
children?
You all are disgusting.
I'm in
I
her
do
humor.
Wait, Dante, you were 10.
I'm the bad guy. I'm the crazy one. Sure.
Dante, you were 10 feet from her when we saw that horror film she did where she played a nun. We were at
Yeah.
the premiere of that thing, and
was.
we've seen like she produces her own material. She made the smart move, like Tom Cruise. I'm going to produce movies for myself to star in that speak to my strengths.
And you got
And
to
I'll
also, Steph is insulted by what Dante said, right? Right, Steph? Right, Steph?
Yeah.
Oh, she's so angry she refuses to even
So angry. She's
respond
sitting
to
in
what you have to
silence.
say.
She's
What do we
gone.
think of
No,
this?
look,
Is-
I think Sydney Sweeney is doing everything right. Everything right. Like, honestly, we talk about her looks, sure, and we could joke about that all day. But if we're being like really honest, this girl is smart, man. The way she's handling her career, the way she handles the media, she could teach a class. She really could. Like, she is doing everything the right way, and she's winning. She's winning.
I think the left are angry at her mostly for that. The fact that she's in control of her own career and they can't do anything about it.
I also think that this is a lot of the controversy, or the people that are mad are jealous women. And
Yeah.
the ones that were the only ones I saw that were mad about the jeans ad seemed to be women. So I feel like that's, and she is pretty, she knows how to, but yeah, to Dante's point, the how she uses social media, she uses media judiciously, she's prudent, and that is a talent, that is a skill that should be taught, because people are just out there saying whatever, doing whatever, and it can hurt or help your career. So
No, Dante's right.
Yeah.
Even
Well,
Madam Web, real quick, that obviously is one of her quote unquote failures, flops. All I think about is the fact that she did all the like her reading all the comics, only to be disappointed they didn't use that, and her fighting to be wearing the costume, like all things you want to hear from a nerd. Oh, you read the comics and you wanted to wear the costume? So
Yeah.
bad
Yeah, and
product.
she
but I
also
saw
developed
positive.
that into a relationship with Sony to make her next movie.
well,
What about you?
there's a TV show about the NFL called Hard Knocks. And every year they focus on a different team. One of the things I learned watching that documentary series about the NFL is NFL players become targets for people that want to take advantage of them. And they actually teach a class
Yes.
to new NFL. It's for rookies, NFL players. They teach them about like money management,
Yep.
your relative that wants to borrow 10 grand and also
Groupies.
how to be media savvy.
Yeah.
How do you be media savvy? And when you look at the NFL, the media is very controlled. It's very positive. Like situations that are bad that come up are handled in a very professional way, right? So we need this in Hollywood. We need some sort of like, yes, take your acting classes, but maybe take a class in being media savvy. How do you handle like difficult questions?
But that's what your agent is for, Chris.
Right.
Your
I know.
agent should tell you this
I mean,
stuff.
you should.
I agree with you, but I don't think
can't
agents are
rely on
doing
it. But,
that now. In fact,
actors have access, I mean, or a media has more access, and they have their own,
Yes.
like on their phone, more than ever before. And this also reminds me of like Dolly Parton. She just had oozes class, but when there was this one interview that was trending with Barbara Walters, where Barbara Walters is being extremely rude. And again, it just felt like just jealous, pure jealousy. And Dolly Parton just came across as extremely polite and handled it with class. It was all about, why do you dress like say very similar things is what Sydney Sweeney is going through. And I'm sure Marilyn Monroe did something very similar. Like, women are mean. Women are very mean and cutthroat and jealous of each other. And I don't know, that you just have to be prepared. The power of women thing, I don't know. That just seems extremely like
It's all in the Helen
just
Andrews
performative,
thing.
and
Yeah.
the
Thank
like
God.
all those women are just probably just very mean and cutthroat to each other. It's probably
Thank God we have the WNBA to show us the way of.
Yeah, because that's a nice
another example of
girly,
them.
girly
Well,
league.
One thing I appreciate about Sydney Sweeney is there are Chinese children working in sweatshops making bras, and for her to boycott the bra industry, I
It's
applaud.
tragic.
Well, it's like Star Wars. There's no bras in
Yeah.
space. So.
I will say, everyone check out Paul Chato's video about the what's it called? The title of
The great feminization is killing Hollywood.
Yeah, and in it it's a great video. Watch his video, and a lot of it has to do, if you take a deep dive and watch the videos you're commenting on, that when you get too many groups of women in a space normally populated by mostly majority male, it tends to push the men out. And also it tends to, one of the things that you said a while back was gear porn.
Yeah.
Like that is something that's part of Star Wars, right? What is gear porn? Well, working on a land speeder or a droid or the engines of the Millennium Falcon, or just things that kind of really only appeal to men.
Right.
Like OSHA, the mechanic.
Yes.
Fire in space.
Exactly right. The fire in space.
But like it's those things that I think that when you have too many women in a space that has previously been male dominated, it loses something, and they kind of make it something different. Whereas I think women are actually attracted to maleness.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I should stop. Elaine, what do you have comments on that? Like,
okay, so there was one of the pictures of Tron Ares when they were like ramping up production, like it was finally a thing where we're about to film. They did the director Joachim Roning shared a picture of all the people like in a boardroom, whatever. And I had this fleeting thought of concern that just now circled back to me. I noticed that there was a lot of women. There was a lot of women. And I'm like, there can't be this many women that likes Tron. It is so niche as it is. I don't know. So that was a point. And I guess that fleeting moment of like, that's odd. Well, I don't know. Hopefully it won't ruin the movie.
Well,
Tony in the chat. Oh, so real quick, he made a great point. I was thinking of it too. The Marvels, supposed to be made for women, starring women, directed by a woman. The women, all women, and then the majority of people that saw it was like 60 or something % were men.
Well,
who didn't show up? The women.
And there's talented women. It's just I just don't understand. They can excel in things that they are passionate if they're talented enough. Like the Penguin. The Penguin was written by a woman. I can't remember her name. Yeah, they're there, but it's just, but if they're there, if they're there simply just to check a box or check whatever standards of ratio of men to women, then the craft suffers, and we all suffer as a result. Then theaters suffer. Yeah.
And also one of the other points that I watched the videos that were related to your video, Paul. They talk about what will happen at times is women being men being pushed out of certain fields, so that
replaced by feminized men, so you get a double dose of women. So there's a percentage. There seems to be some sociological percentage of women in any space that will then alter how things work, and women are about process and men are about action and results. And I mean, it's an interesting long-term thing because men ruled pretty much everything in business. And I talked about, should we return to the era of hookers and blow in Hollywood?
Yes.
I'm not saying that we should. I'm just saying that men had been in charge long enough that I think they kind of sorted out what diversity kind of sort of works. And I think now that HR is ruled by women, the New York Times is 55% women, and you can feel the difference in terms of the reporting. Right. Since Obama and Biden, the number of female judges exploded, and we got that one woman in the Supreme Court who can't admit to what a woman is. So I think women in groups have got to figure things out, because as a group, they haven't been in power as long as men had been in power as a group. And they kind of went through their asshole stage. I mean, to a point. I mean, men are jerks. My mantra is men are stupid, women are crazy. That's what I live by. And I think if women choose to run things, like, for instance, the publishing business right now is predominantly women. They don't accept anything like a Miller or a Roth book. They're just not there. Men aren't reading any of this stuff. We're not interested in Ashtanga yoga books. So just take a look at the top 100 books on the New York Times list. It's 90% women, and in the past, the pipeline to movies came from books.
Yes.
So we've lost that pipeline because nobody is interested in the books that are being published right now. And
it's all fairy smut.
Yeah. And
that's like Tom Clancy novels.
Milking farm alone.
Yeah. And women publishers don't like Tom Clancy.
Centaur porn.
Yeah.
We used to have John Grisham and Tom Clancy.
So I'm not saying that the women as a group can't figure this out, but they might need time to do so. But that's really the premise of Helen Andrews' thesis, is that right now we're not being well served by organizations that have been taken over by women. And you can agree to disagree. That's her theory.
But this ties into what we were just talking about, right? Because we're talking about Sydney Sweeney, we're talking about her making all the right moves and this and that. The thing is, there's a lot of things that are wrong with the box office, bad scripts, overpriced, streaming, the whole deal. Another big part of that, though, is people not liking the actors who are in these things, right? And we don't like them because of the things they say off screen. And that's what I'm saying. Sydney Sweeney is doing this right, because here's the thing. She could be in the worst movie ever, but because of her personality, people will show up for her for the most part. You know what I mean? Within reason. If we don't like who's in the film, we're not going to go see the film.